Hello and welcome to English in Fluency. I am Alex, and I am so glad you are here today. I want to ask you a question. Do you ever have that feeling, that heavy feeling in your body and your mind, when you know you have something important to do? Maybe it's studying for an exam. Maybe it's cleaning your house. Maybe it's starting a new project, or even just exercising. You know you should do it. You know it will be good for you, but you just can't. The sofa feels too comfortable. Your phone suddenly seems incredibly interesting. You tell yourself, I will do it in 10 minutes. Then 10 minutes becomes an hour. An hour becomes tomorrow. And tomorrow never seems to come. This feeling, this heavy blanket of I don't want to, is what we call laziness. It's a feeling that visits all of us, and it can be one of the most difficult things to overcome. It stops us from reaching our goals. It makes us feel guilty and frustrated with ourselves. But today, we are going to talk about how to fight this feeling. This is not just an English listening practice. This is a practice for your life. We are going to explore how to overcome your laziness, how to build momentum, and how to finally prove to yourself that you are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. Let's first understand what laziness really is. Often, we think of lazy people as bad people. We think they are weak or they don't care. We might even call ourselves lazy, and this makes us feel terrible. But I want to suggest a new idea. Laziness is not who you are. Laziness is a feeling. It is a symptom of something else. Think about it. When you feel sick, you have a fever. The fever is not the sickness. The fever is a sign that your body is fighting something. Laziness is the same. It is a sign. Usually, it is a sign of one of three things. You are overwhelmed, you are afraid, or you are unclear. Let's look at this more closely. Sometimes a task just feels too big. You want to learn English. That is a huge goal. Where do you even start? When you think about all the grammar, all the vocabulary, all the practice, your brain just shuts down. It feels overwhelmed. It's easier to do nothing than to start something so massive. This inaction looks like laziness, but it is actually just confusion. Your brain doesn't know the first step. Another reason is fear. We are often afraid of failing. If you start that new project, what if it's not good? If you apply for that job, what if they say no? If you try to speak English, what if you make a mistake? Sometimes it feels safer to just not try. If you don't try, you can't fail. This is your brain trying to protect you. But this protection also stops you from growing. This avoidance looks like laziness, but it is actually fear. And finally, sometimes we are just unclear. Why are you really doing this? If your reason, your why, is not strong, then your motivation will be weak. If you don't have a powerful reason to study, watching a movie will always be more interesting. This isn't laziness. It's a lack of a clear, strong purpose. So, the first step to overcoming laziness is to stop calling yourself lazy. Instead, ask yourself a question. Ask, what am I really feeling? Am I overwhelmed? Am I afraid? Or am I unclear about my purpose? Just understanding the real reason can begin to change everything. Let's imagine a man named Tom. Tom is a very common example of this. Tom works at a job he doesn't really like. It's boring, but it pays the bills. His real dream is to become a web developer. He loves technology, and he loves the idea of creating things. He saved his money and bought an expensive online course. The course has videos, projects, and a community. He was so excited when he bought it. He told himself, This is it. This is the start of my new life. That was 2 months ago. The course is sitting in his bookmarks. He has not logged in. Every evening he comes home from work. He feels tired. He eats dinner. He sits on his sofa. He thinks, okay, I should do my course. He opens his laptop. He sees the course icon. But then he also sees the icon for a streaming service. He thinks, I'm just so tired from work. My brain needs a rest. I will just watch one show. Just one. To relax. Then I will study. He turns on the show. One show becomes two. Two shows become three. He looks at the clock. It is now 10 p.m. He sighs. Oh, it's too late to start now. I won't be able to focus. I need to be fresh to learn something so difficult. I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow, I will start, for sure. Saturday. I will spend all day Saturday learning. But you and I both know what happens on Saturday. He wakes up late. He has to do chores. He meets a friend for coffee. Suddenly, the day is gone. Tom feels terrible. He feels guilty. He says to himself, I am so lazy. I have this great opportunity, this expensive course, and I am wasting it. What is wrong with me? Do you see Tom's situation? Is Tom a lazy person? Number. Tom is overwhelmed. The goal of become a web developer is huge. It's a mountain. He doesn't know where to start. He is also afraid. What if he tries the course and he's not smart enough? What if he fails? It's easier to watch a show where he knows the outcome than to face the difficult challenge of the course. So, how does Tom change? How does he, and how do you, begin to fight this feeling? The answer is the opposite of what you might think. We think we need a huge burst of motivation. We wait to feel ready. We wait for inspiration. But inspiration is a guest that rarely visits. We cannot wait for motivation. We must create it. And the way we create motivation is with action, even the smallest possible action. This brings us to a very powerful idea. Let's call it the 5-minute rule. This rule is simple. If you are avoiding a task, just agree to do it for only 5 minutes. That's it. You tell your brain, I am not going to become a web developer right now. I am just going to log in and watch the first video for 5 minutes. Let's go back to Tom. He's on his sofa. He feels the guilt. He wants to change. He decides to try this. He says, okay, I am not going to study for 3 hours. I am just going to turn on my laptop, log into the course, and read the title of the first lesson. That's all. He gets up. It's hard. The sofa is pulling him back. But he walks to his desk. He opens the laptop. He types in his password. He clicks the bookmark. He logs in. The course dashboard opens. He sees Lesson 1, Introduction to HTML. He clicks it. A video starts. He watches it. He looks at the clock. 5 minutes have passed. Now, something interesting happens in his brain. The hardest part is over. The starting is the hardest part. Now that he is already there, he thinks, well, this first video is only 8 minutes long. I've already watched 5 minutes. I might as well finish it. So he finishes the video. At the end of the video, there is a small quiz, just 3 questions. He thinks, okay, I can do that. He answers the questions. He gets them all right. A small feeling of accomplishment hits his brain. A tiny spark. It feels good. He thinks, okay, that wasn't so bad. Maybe I'll just look at Lesson 2. He clicks on Lesson 2. He starts watching it. Before he knows it, 40 minutes have passed. He has completed the first 2 lessons. He feels a little tired, but he also feels good. He feels proud. He did not become a web developer. But he did something. He broke the pattern of laziness. This is the magic of momentum. An object that is not moving is very hard to push, but an object that is already moving is much easier to keep moving. The 5-minute rule is not about finishing the task. It is about starting the task. It is about tricking your brain past the fear and the overwhelming feeling. 90% of the time, once you start, you will continue for more than 5 minutes. And even if you don't, even if you just do 5 minutes, you still won. You showed up. You did what you said you would do. And that starts to build trust with yourself. Let's practice this idea together. Think about something you are avoiding right now. It could be big or small. Maybe it's cleaning your kitchen. Maybe it's writing an email. Maybe it's practicing your English speaking. I want you to make a promise to yourself. Not tomorrow. Today. After this podcast, you will do that thing for just 5 minutes. Set a timer on your phone. If you are avoiding cleaning, just clean for 5 minutes. Put away 5 things. If you are avoiding your homework, just read 1 page for 5 minutes. This is a practical step. Let's practice the language for it. Repeat this sentence, either out loud or in your mind. I will do your task for only 5 minutes. Again, I will start for just 5 minutes. This is a promise. This is how you start to build momentum. This is how you fight the heavy feeling. Now, the 5-minute rule is excellent for starting. But what about the problem of the task being too big? This is where Tom's problem of being overwhelmed comes in. Become a web developer is not a task. It is a giant, scary project. You cannot put "become a doctor" on your to-do list for Tuesday. Our brains don't work that way. We need to break it down. You must take your huge, scary goal and break it into tiny, manageable, not scary pieces. This is the most important skill for overcoming procrastination. If your goal is clean the house, you will feel overwhelmed. The house is big. Where do you start? But what if you break it down? What if your list looks like this? 1. Put the dishes in the dishwasher. 2. Wipe the kitchen counter. 3. Take out the trash. 4. Put 5 items of clothing away. These are tasks. You can do take out the trash. That takes 2 minutes. You can do wipe the kitchen counter. That takes 3 minutes. Let's go back to Tom. He finished his first 40 minutes. He feels good. But the next day, the feeling of being overwhelmed comes back. He thinks, okay, I did 2 lessons. But there are 300 lessons in this course. This is going to take forever. I'll never finish it. He is looking at the whole mountain again. He needs a new strategy. He sits down, not with his course, but with a simple piece of paper, a notebook. At the top, he writes his big goal: become a web developer. Then he breaks it down. He looks at the course outline. The course is in sections. Section 1, HTML. Section 2, CSS. Section 3, JavaScript. Okay, that's better. Now he just needs to focus on Section 1. He breaks that down even more. Section 1, HTML has 20 lessons, so he makes a new goal: finish Section 1. That's still too big for one day. He breaks it down even more. My goal for today is to watch 1 video lesson and do the practice exercise. That is his new goal. Not become a web developer, not finish the course. Just watch 1 video and do 1 exercise. Can he do that? Yes. That feels possible. That feels manageable. He has taken a giant, scary monster and shrunk it down to something small and controllable. This is how you climb a mountain. You do not jump to the top. You take 1 step, and then another step. and then another. The problem is that we are always looking at the top of the mountain. We get discouraged by the distance. The secret is to stop looking at the top. Just look at the path directly in front of you. Your only job is to take the next step. Let's practice this. I want you to think about your big goal. Maybe it's speak fluent English. That is a wonderful goal, but it is a giant mountain. It's overwhelming. Let's break it down. What are the sections? Listening, speaking, reading, writing, vocabulary, grammar. Okay, now let's just take one section. Speaking. That's still a big goal. How do we break that down? We can make it smaller. Practice speaking for 10 minutes every day. That's better. That's a task. We can break it down even more. Today, I will listen to Alex on English in Fluency and repeat 5 sentences out loud. That is a perfect task. It is small, it is clear, it is achievable. You can do that. When you finish that task, you can put a check mark next to it. And that check mark gives you a tiny hit of dopamine, a chemical in your brain that makes you feel good. It makes you feel successful. And that success makes you want to do the next small task. This is how you build a chain of success, all starting from one small, broken-down step. So, we have the 5-minute rule to start, and we have breaking it down to make tasks less overwhelming. But there is another piece to this puzzle. This piece is about the prove yourself part of our talk. Overcoming laziness is not just about getting tasks done. It is about changing how you see yourself. It is about proving to yourself that you are not a lazy person. You are a person who does hard things. You are a person who keeps promises to yourself. How do we do this? We do this by building discipline. Now, this word, discipline, can sound scary. It sounds like hard work. It sounds like no fun. But let's think about discipline in a new way. Motivation is a feeling. It comes and goes. It's not reliable. You cannot wait to feel motivated. Discipline, however, is a system. Discipline is a choice. Discipline is doing what you said you would do, even when the feeling of motivation is not there. Think about brushing your teeth. Do you wait until you feel motivated to brush your teeth? Number. Of course not. You just do it. It's a habit. It's part of your routine. You don't debate it. You don't procrastinate. You just do it. This is discipline. And the goal is to make your new important tasks, like studying English or working on your project, just like brushing your teeth. How do we build this? We build it through consistency. It is better to study English for 10 minutes every single day than to study for 3 hours one Saturday, and then do nothing for 2 weeks. The daily habit is more powerful. The daily habit builds the muscle of discipline. It teaches your brain. This is who we are now. We are people who study English every day. Let's check back in with Tom. He has his small daily task. Watch one video and do one exercise. He decides he will do it every evening, right after dinner. The first day, he does it. The second day, he does it. The third day, he is very tired from work. He sits on the sofa. The old feeling comes back. Just skip it for tonight. You worked hard. You deserve a break. This is the critical moment. This is where discipline is tested. Tom thinks about his goal. He thinks about how good it felt to finish the lessons. He tells himself, I am just going to do the 5-minute rule. I will just watch the video. If I'm still too tired, I can stop. He gets up. He sits down. He starts the video. And just like before, once he starts, he finishes. He did it. He was tired. He didn't feel motivated, but he did it anyway. This is a huge victory. This victory is more important than the lesson he learned. Why? Because he proved something to himself. He proved that he is stronger than his temporary feelings. He is building the identity of a disciplined person. Now, let's meet another person. Let's call her Sarah. Sarah is Tom's friend. Sarah seems to have everything together. She is learning graphic design, and she practices every single day. She also exercises regularly and eats healthy food. Tom looks at Sarah and thinks, wow, she is so motivated. She is so disciplined. It must be easy for her. One day, they meet for coffee, and Tom tells her about his struggles. He says, Sarah, how do you do it? How are you always so motivated to work on your design skills? Sarah laughs. She says, Tom, I am not motivated. Not at all. This morning, I woke up, and the very last thing I wanted to do was practice logo design. I wanted to stay in bed and scroll on my phone. Tom is shocked. But you did it, right? I saw you posted a new design. Sarah nods. Yes, I did it. But not because I felt like it. I did it because it's Tuesday. And on Tuesday, I practice logo design for 45 minutes. It's on my calendar. It's a non-negotiable appointment with myself. She explains her system. Motivation is a feeling. It's like the weather. Some days it's sunny, some days it's rainy. I cannot depend on the weather to build my house. I need a system. My system is my calendar. And I have a rule that I learned. I can make it small, I can do a bad job, but I cannot do nothing. On days I feel terrible, I tell myself, okay, I don't have to do 45 minutes. I will just do 10 minutes. But I have to show up. I have to keep the promise to myself. This is a profound idea. We often have an all-or-nothing mindset. We think, if I can't study for 2 hours, it's not worth it. I'll just do nothing. This is a trap. This is how laziness wins. Sarah's rule is the opposite. Something is always better than nothing. Doing 10 minutes of English practice is 100% better than doing 0 minutes. Why? Because it maintains the habit. It keeps the momentum going. It proves to yourself that you are still in the game. You are still a person who practices English. This brings us to a new rule, a rule to help with consistency. It is called the never miss twice rule. Life is complicated. Things happen. You might get sick. You might have a family emergency. You might just have a terrible day where you are completely exhausted and you just cannot do your task. It is okay to miss one day. You are human. But the rule is, never miss 2 days in a row. Missing one day is an accident. Missing 2 days is the start of a new, bad habit. If Tom skips his coding lesson on Wednesday because he had a terrible day at work, that's fine. But his only priority for Thursday is to get back on track. He doesn't have to do 2 lessons to catch up. He just has to do his normal, small, daily task. He just has to do 1 lesson. This rule allows you to be human. It allows for failure. But it stops a single failure from destroying all your progress. It stops the guilt. You don't say, I ruined my streak. I'm a failure. You just say, okay, that was my 1 missed day. Today, I get back on track. Let's practice this. Think about your new habit, your 10 minutes of English practice or your 5 minutes of cleaning. You are going to try to do it every day. But if you miss a day, what is the rule? The rule is, never miss 2 days. Let's say that phrase together. Never miss 2 days in a row. This is your safety net. This is how you build discipline that lasts. You are proving to yourself that a small setback does not have to be a permanent failure. You are learning to be resilient. You are learning to trust yourself again. There's one more enemy we have to talk about. This enemy is very sneaky. This enemy is the environment. We think our choices are our own, but often our environment makes our choices for us. Let's look at Tom's evening routine again. He comes home, tired. He sits on the sofa. His television remote is right there on the table. His phone, full of social media, is in his pocket. His laptop, with the difficult course, is in his bag in the other room. His environment is perfectly designed for laziness. It is easy to watch TV. It is hard to study. We must change this. We must design our environment for success. We need to make laziness harder and our good habits easier. So, Tom and Sarah talk about this. Sarah asks him, "Where do you study?" Tom says, "Well, on the sofa, usually. Or in my bed." Sarah shakes her head. "No, no, no. Your brain is smart. Your brain knows that the sofa is for relaxing. Your brain knows the bed is for sleeping. When you try to work in those places, your brain is confused. You are fighting your own mind." She gives him advice. You need a dedicated space, a focus space. It doesn't have to be a big office. It can just be one small corner of your room, one chair, and one small table. Tom decides to try this. He cleans off the small desk in his bedroom. It was covered in old mail and random objects. He cleans it completely. Now, the only things on the desk are his laptop and his notebook. He makes another change. When he comes home from work, before he sits on the sofa, before he relaxes, he does his 40-minute lesson. He makes it the first thing he does. He takes his work bag, walks straight to his new focus desk, and sits down. He put his phone in a drawer in the kitchen so it's not near him. He has made it easier to study and harder to get distracted. This is a game changer. He is no longer using his willpower to fight the temptation of the sofa. He is avoiding the temptation completely. After his lesson is finished, he closes his laptop. Now he can go to the sofa. Now he can watch his show. And guess what? The show feels so much better. He can enjoy it 100%. Why? Because he is not feeling guilty. He has already done his hard work. He has earned his rest. This is a critical distinction. We must learn the difference between laziness and rest. Laziness is avoidance. It is the act of not doing what you know you should be doing. Rest is recovery. It is what you do after you have done the work. Rest is essential. You cannot work all the time. Your brain needs to recover. Your body needs to recover. But true, relaxing rest can only happen when you don't feel guilty. When you are sitting on the sofa, avoiding your work, you are not resting. You are procrastinating. Your body is on the sofa, but your mind is stressed. You are thinking, "I should be studying. I should be cleaning." It's not good rest. But when you, like Tom, do your work first, and then you rest, your mind is free. You can fully enjoy your break. This is the reward. You are proving to yourself that you deserve to rest. Let's practice this idea. Look at the space where you plan to study English. What is in that space? Is your phone right next to you? Is the TV on? Is it messy? Think of one change you can make to your environment to make studying easier. Maybe you can create a special English notebook and keep it on your table, open and ready. Maybe you can put your phone in another room for just 15 minutes. Maybe you can put a sticky note on your computer that says, "Just one lesson." You are the architect of your life. Build a house that makes it easy to do the right things. So, let's fast forward. Months have passed. Tom has been following his new system. He uses the 5-minute rule when he feels stuck. He breaks down his big project into small daily tasks. He works in his dedicated focus space. He follows the never miss twice rule. Has it been easy? Not at all. There were many days he wanted to quit. There were days he did miss. But he never missed twice. He just kept going. He kept taking the next small step. He finished Section 1, HTML. He finished Section 2, CSS. He is now deep into Section 3, JavaScript, which is the hardest part. He is building small projects. They are not perfect. They have bugs, but they work. One day, he builds a small, simple website for a local bakery that his friend owns. Just a simple page with their menu, their hours, and some pictures. He shows it to Sarah. She looks at it, and her eyes go wide. "Tom," she says, "this is real. This is a real, working website. You did this. A few months ago, you couldn't even log into the course." Tom looks at the screen. He sees the website, but he also sees something else. He sees the hundreds of small, consistent actions. He sees the 40-minute sessions. He sees the days he was tired but did it anyway. He sees the discipline he built, one day at a time. He feels a deep, quiet feeling of pride. He did it. He is doing it. He is no longer a person who wants to be a web developer. He is a person who builds websites. This is the final step. This is the prove yourself part. The person you need to prove yourself to is not your parents, or your friends, or your boss. The person you need to prove it to is you. It's the voice in your own head. The voice that told you, you are lazy. You always quit. You're not smart enough. Through your small, daily, consistent actions, you are gathering evidence. Each 10-minute practice session, each small task you complete, is a piece of evidence to prove that voice wrong. You are not proving it with words. You are proving it with action. You are slowly, day by day, rewriting your own story. You are changing your own identity. You are no longer the lazy person. You are the person who shows up. You are the person who finishes things. This change in identity is the true reward. It is more valuable than any grade, any job, or any amount of money. Because when you know, deep in your bones, that you are a person who can do hard things, you become unstoppable. The next time you face a challenge, that old voice of "I can't" will be quieter, and a new, stronger voice will say, "This is hard. But I do hard things. I just need to break it down. I just need to start." You have overcome laziness by building a new you. You have proven to yourself that your potential is not just a dream. It is something you can build into reality, one small, disciplined step at a time. Today, we have talked about a journey from the heavy blanket of laziness to the clear, strong feeling of accomplishment. We learned that laziness is not who you are. It's a symptom of being overwhelmed, afraid, or unclear. We learned about Tom, who is stuck on his sofa, afraid to start his big dream. And we learned the tools he used to get unstuck. He used the 5-minute rule to just start. He learned to break his giant, scary mountain into small, manageable steps. He learned from his friend Sarah that we cannot wait for motivation. We must build discipline. He learned that discipline is a system, not a feeling. He created a focus space to design his environment for success. And he learned the most forgiving and powerful rule: never miss 2 days in a row. Through this process, Tom did not just learn to code. He learned to trust himself. He proved to himself that he was not lazy. He was just stuck. And he learned how to get unstuck. This is the power you have right now. You are not a lazy person just because you feel unmotivated today. You are a person who is currently stuck, and you now have the tools to get moving again. You can overcome this feeling. You can achieve your goals. You can prove to yourself and to no one else that you are capable of amazing things. The journey is not easy. It requires patience. It requires consistency. But it starts with one simple, small decision. Your call to action today is very simple. I do not want you to go and plan your entire life. I do not want you to promise to work for 3 hours. I want you to do just one thing. Think of that one task you have been avoiding. The one thing that makes you feel that heavy, I don't want to feeling. Now, I want you to make a promise to me and to yourself. As soon as this podcast is over, you are going to stand up and go do that task for just 5 minutes. Set a timer. That is your only goal. You are not trying to finish it. You are just trying to start. You are pushing the first domino. You are starting the snowball. You are taking the first step up the mountain. Prove to yourself that you can take that first step. The journey of 1,000 miles begins right there. Thank you so much for joining me here at English in Fluency. I hope this practice was helpful for you, not just for your listening skills, but for your life. You are building 2 skills at once: your English fluency and your personal discipline. That is something to be very proud of. If you found this helpful, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing this with someone else who might be feeling stuck. We are a community here, learning and growing together. I am Alex. Keep practicing. Keep showing up. Never miss twice. And I will see you in the next one.